20 years ago, my family introduced a system called Friday Democracy Meetings. Every Friday at 7 p.m., my family came together for an official meeting to discuss the current family affairs. These meetings were facilitated by one of my parents, and we even had a note taker. These meetings had two rules. First, you are allowed to speak openly and freely. Your kids are allowed to criticize your parents without that being criticized as disrespectful or rude. Second rule was Chatham House rule, meaning whatever is said in the meeting stays in the meeting. The topics which were discussed in these meetings varied from one week to other. What time your kid should go to bed and how to improve things as a family, while another meeting discussed pretty much events that happened and how to solve disputes between siblings, by which I meant real fights. At the end of each meeting, we had reached decisions and agreements that would last at least until the next meeting. So you could say I was raised as a politician. By the age of 6 or 7, I mastered politics. I was negotiating, compromising, building alliances with other political actors. And I even once tried to jeopardize the political process. These meetings sound very peaceful, civil, and democratic, right? But that was not always the case because of this open, free space to talk, discuss, and criticize. Things sometimes got really heated. One meeting went really bad for me. I was 10 years old at that time and I had done something really horrible at school, which I am not going to share today. But my brother decided to bring it up in the meeting. I could not defend myself. So I decided to withdraw from the meeting and boycott the whole system. I literally wrote an official letter and handed it over to my dad, announcing that I am boycotting. I thought that if I stop attending the meeting, these meetings anymore, the system would collapse. But my family continued with the meetings and they often made decisions that I disliked. But I could not challenge these decisions because I was not attending the meetings and thus had no right to go against it. Ironically, I was turned 13 years old. I ended up meeting one of these meetings again after I boycotted them for a long time because there was an issue that was affecting me only and no other family member was bringing it up. The problem was that after each dinner I always the only who had asked to wash the dishes while other brothers didn't have to do anything. I felt this was injustice and unfair discriminatory, so I wanted to discuss is in the meeting. As you know, the idea that the role to do a housework is a rule that has been carried out by many societies for a long. So, in order for a 13-year-old to challenge it, I need a platform. In the meeting, my brothers argued that none of the other boys we knew were washing the dishes. So, why should our family be any different? But my parents agreed with me and decided that my brother should also wash. However, they could not force them. So the problem continued. Seeing no solution to my problem, I decided to attend another meeting and propose a new system that would be fair to everyone. So I suggested instead of one person washing all the dishes used by all family members, each family member should wash their own dishes. And as a gesture of good faith, I said I had washed the pots as well. This way, my brothers could no longer argue that it wasn't within their responsibility as boys or men to wash the dishes and clean after the family. Because the system I proposed was about every member of the family cleaning after themselves and taking care of themselves. Everyone agreed to my proposal, and for years that was washing the dishes system. What I just share you is a family story, but it's pure politics. Every part of politics include decision making, and ideally the process of decision making should include people from different backgrounds, interests, opinion, gender, belief, race, ethnicity, age, and so on. And they should all have an equal opportunity to contribute to the decision making process and influence the decision that will affect their lives directly or indirectly. As such, I find it difficult to understand when I hear from young people, I am too young to engage in politics or even hold a political opinion. Similarly, when I hear some women saying politics is a dirty world, I don't want to engage with. I am worried that the idea of politics and political engagement has become so polarized in many parts of the world that ordinary people feel in order for them to participate in politics, they need to be outspoken activists. And that is not true. That is not at all true. I want to ask these young people, women, and ordinary people in general, can you really afford not to be interested or not participate in politics? Politics is not an only activism. It is an awareness. It's keeping ourselves informed. It's caring for the facts. When it's possible, it's casting a vote. Politics is tool through which we structure ourselves as groups and societies. Politics governs every aspect of life, and by not participating in it, you literally allowing other people to decide on what you can eat, if you can have access to healthcare, free education, how much tax you pay, when you can retire, what is your pension. Other people are also deciding on whether your race and ethnicity is enough to consider you as a criminal, or if your religion and nationality is enough to put you on terrorist list. And if you still think you are a strong independent human being unaffected by politics, then think twice. I am speaking to you as a young man. A country that is in almost all political dialogues that took place in the past few years, even those gathered by foreign powers, has been with only middle-aged men in the room, but in place with broken political systems with Libya, or in seemingly functioning places. Thank you.